Good day, everyone. Welcome to the beautiful fall season, and more importantly, the reason we're here today, the release of SOLIDWORKS 2023, part of the 3D Experience Works portfolio. Over the next 2 days, we will look at best-in-class tools and services offered through TPM. As you see, we have a whole technology showcase, from CAD, picks and clicks, enhancements, collaboration, data management, to the closely related world of 3D printing, design automation, learning tools and certifications, all leading to a holistic, company-wide approach to data and systems. Let's kick off the day with a word from SOLIDWORKS CEO Gianpaolo Bassi and a trip on memory lane.
So much has changed over the last 10 years, hasn't it? Over the last 10 years, what changes have you experienced? I bet the ways you connect to your job and accomplish your work are most certainly different. Progress must be part of your purpose. To make great design successful, you must also master the business of product innovation. Where we used to think of CAD data as the main source of truth, actually product development information is all around us, in every conversation, idea, interaction.
Welcome to 3D Experience World 2021.
As smoothly as your team works together, what about your extended value network?
Let me invite William and Charles from Square aboard. What made you pick 3D Experience platform?
We really needed a mechanism to store and organize revision-controlled CAD data in the cloud. And so we looked to 3D Experience to do that.
For 2023, the SOLIDWORKS R&D team, as usual, has delivered an amazing lineup of enhancements to help you work smarter, faster, and together. Not just together as a team, but also connected to your data and your tools. In 2023, we will improve your productivity and optimize your CAD potential. But to truly accelerate your innovation, you need to make all product information available for your entire enterprise to access and act on real time throughout the day, wherever they are. As you look to 2023, how will you continue to improve your productivity and expand creativity? How will you inspire those around you? For now, sit back and enjoy the demonstrations that follow. Share them with your friends, and let's make 2023 together the most innovative and successful year yet. Oh, and see you next at Nashville for 3D Experience World.
Time to introduce myself. I'm Chris, industrial engineer, SOLIDWORKS certified expert. I've been with TPM over 8 years now, from SOLIDWORKS tech support to teaching classes to 3D printing, data management, and every other task I've been part of. I've always had a good time. Every year, SOLIDWORKS comes out with so many enhancements, it's hard to keep track. So, we selected a few from the past 3 years to review with everyone today. First up, direct mesh editing.
The need to directly edit mesh geometry like this STL file is becoming more common. SOLIDWORKS 2020 continues to expand on its already rich mesh editing feature set. Filleting edges is now possible using the same workflow as a native SOLIDWORKS file. You can even change the fillet to a chamfer and vice versa. SOLIDWORKS 2020 now supports more advanced editing tools, which will make it easy to increase the radius of this surface. We'll start by offsetting the mesh surface and extending the result. SOLIDWORKS 2020 now supports mutual trim operations, as well as knit surfaces, making this change a breeze. It's not uncommon for STL files to be damaged. Running a quick geometry check shows that there's an open surface. With SOLIDWORKS 2020, you can now delete these holes by right-clicking and choosing Delete Hole from the context menu. Or by simply selecting the edge and pressing Delete. SOLIDWORKS 2019 introduced Delete Face. SOLIDWORKS 2020 expands the capability to support Delete and Fill, which makes removing these features on the part a trivial operation. SOLIDWORKS 2020 gives you powerful tools that makes editing mesh geometry familiar and easy.
Next, let's look at envelope publishing.
Working on complex assemblies like the OMAX Micromax Waterjet with multiple systems and designers can be a challenge, especially when work needs to reference other subassemblies. Previous workflows would either have work done at the top-level assembly or by creating duplicate parts in subassemblies. These added significant time and could be difficult to manage. Envelopes have long been a great tool for making reference components that do not affect calculations or bills of materials. With the new envelope publisher in SOLIDWORKS 2020, envelopes are no longer limited to components in the same assembly. Now, we can simply select the components needed for reference and a destination assembly. Once the envelope is created, we can open this same destination assembly to complete the task. Now it is easy to finish all the plumbing design work in one place. We can add reference geometry or mate directly to the envelope components, ensuring the design will fit in the top-level assembly. Envelope Publisher makes it simple to work collaboratively in large assemblies and be assured design work will fit together seamlessly.
Seamlessly indeed. Next, let's look at a revolutionary way of weldment design, structure systems.
Structure System was introduced in SOLIDWORKS 2019 and provides a more flexible method to create welded structures with or without the use of complex 3D sketches to define all the members. Let's review some of the capabilities of Structure System and take a look at several of the enhancements for SOLIDWORKS 2020. In this example, the weldment will be defined with just a couple of sketches, an axis, and 4 planes. Primary members can be created in a variety of ways, but now in SOLIDWORKS 2020, the point and length member definition has new options. Members can now be created between pairs of sketch points or chained together to create a series of members along a chain of points. The new Up to Point option allows you to create members that all converge at a single reference point. And the new Up to Plane option creates members that terminate at a selected plane. The member extrudes in the direction of the reference plane, or you can choose a sketch segment as the direction to define the members. As introduced in SOLIDWORKS 2019, secondary members can be added using support planes, and for these, a different weldment profile will be used. The top of these members needs to align with the selected planes, and to accomplish this, an alternate pierce point can be selected. Another secondary cross member can be added using the Between Points method, and will define this member to go between the corners. In SOLIDWORKS 2020, primary and secondary members can now be split during creation. Splitting can be done using dimensions, instance count, or by selecting a reference such as a face, plane, or structural member. And for this member, we'll rotate the profile by 90 degrees. When you're finished defining this structure system, the corner management tool kicks in and allows you to define the corner trims. For the simple corners, we'll define a planar trim with full contact to the intersecting member. For the complex corners, SOLIDWORKS does a fantastic job of determining the trim tool as well as the trim order for the intersecting members. Hiding the vertical member, you can see what a great job SOLIDWORKS did on the corner management. To create the circular structure that was shown in the beginning of this demonstration, we need to pattern this structure system. Previously, bodies could be patterned to achieve this, but now in SOLIDWORKS 2020, you can create linear and circular patterns or mirror the entire structure system. By patterning the structure system, you are maintaining the intelligence of each of the members, and additional structure systems can be added referencing the patterned members. In this example, we'll add a new structure system to define the perimeter members. These are added using the support plane method between the original structure system and the pattern members, and the pierce point will be defined to align to the planes. Upon exit of this structure system, the corner management tool determines the corners between the new members and the first structure system and its pattern members, and determines the proper trim tool member and trim order. This perimeter structure can also be patterned to complete the design. The structure system feature, introduced in SOLIDWORKS 2019 and enhanced in 2020, provides an advanced weldment environment that lets you create and modify structural members of different profiles in a single feature with flexible corner management and trimming.
Fourth on our list is Enhancements to Assembly Mates.
The Quick Mates toolbar, introduced in SOLIDWORKS 2014, provides a means to rapidly assemble components directly from the graphics area. SOLIDWORKS 2020 extends this popular tool by adding additional commonly used mates. Let's take a look. When mating the washer to the slot, the Quick Mates toolbar now includes the slot mate and provides options for choosing its constraint. For this case, we'll center it in the slot. The screw needs to be mated to the washer, and we've long had the ability to do this with the Profile Center Mate from the Quick Mates toolbar. But there was no way to flip the mate alignment without editing the mate after creating it. Now, in SOLIDWORKS 2020, a new Flip Alignment button pops up, allowing you to flip the mate on creation. Just as with the slot mate, the constraint options are available for the width mate to establish its position. Previously, there was no way to flip the alignment of a width mate. Users had to suppress the mate, rotate the part, and then unsuppress the mate. The new Flip Alignment button pops up, allowing alignment changes on the fly. In addition, when editing a width mate, the option to flip mate alignment is now available on the right mouse menu as well as in the Property Manager. Limit mates have also been added to the Quick Mates toolbar. Both the limit distance and limit angle mates are now available to quickly position components in the assembly. The angle, maximum, and minimum values can be entered immediately to keep your focus directly on the screen. With the new mate types available on the ever-popular Quick Mates toolbar, SOLIDWORKS 2020 continues to provide users with tools to rapidly assemble components.
How about this one? A big favorite of many designers, Detailing Mode.
Performance is always a major focus for the SOLIDWORKS development team, and this year is no different. With Detailing Mode in SOLIDWORKS 2020, you can now open massive drawings in seconds, regardless of their size and complexity. The model does not get loaded, but the drawing views are intact, so there's no loss of detail. Detailing Mode is perfect for opening drawings for minor edits or design reviews. Individual sheets load in an instant, and the drawing can also be printed. But it doesn't stop there. Some editing capabilities are available as well, such as making changes to annotations or dimensions. Notes can be added to the drawing or dragged from a library of company notes, and annotations added in Detailing Mode can also be edited. This drawing sheet is a bit crowded, and as with a resolved drawing, drawing views can be moved and arranged on the drawing. Dimensions can also be positioned to achieve the desired layout. Views can also be cut, copied, and pasted. And to better organize this drawing, we'll add a new sheet, reposition the tab, paste the view onto the sheet, and do some dimension cleanup. Balloons can be added or repositioned to take advantage of magnetic lines for a clean look. If additional dimensioning is required, this can be done in Detailing Mode as well. Dimensions can be added to edges and vertices using the same techniques you're familiar with in resolved drawings. In this case, we'll add some dimensions to locate the positioning holes for the gantry system. We'll also define the hole size, and you can see that the dimension palette is available to fine-tune your dimension with notes and tolerances, or the Dimension Property Manager can be used for more refinement. Any command that is not grayed out on the Command Manager is available in Detailing Mode, such as the Format Painter. Here we'll leverage an existing dimension and paint its format onto our new dimensions. Revision tables, symbols, and clouds can also be added to communicate any changes. And when you're done with your edits, the drawing can be saved, and rest assured that these edits will be there regardless of which mode the drawing is opened with next. To communicate with external collaborators, you can print the drawing, or you can save the drawing in a variety of formats such as DWG, JPEG, or even PDF. With Detailing Mode in SOLIDWORKS 2020, productivity is enhanced by allowing users to open in seconds drawings containing large assemblies, lots of sheets, many configurations, or resource-intensive views.
A short but very useful enhancement is the redo ability of SOLIDWORKS.
Making a mistake is easy to correct using undo. Now with SOLIDWORKS 2021, redo is more complete, allowing you to redo feature edits. This means that if you accidentally undo a feature, you won't have to spend extra time recreating it.
We continue with a big one, large assembly performance.
Graphics performance, introduced in SOLIDWORKS 2019, fundamentally changed how graphics are handled by SOLIDWORKS and your certified graphics card, providing significantly higher frame rates and much smoother response when interacting with large assemblies. This system option, found under the performance settings, is now enabled by default in SOLIDWORKS 2021. To see the difference, we will compare this setting enabled and disabled side by side, running a macro that performs 500 mouse rotations for consistency. It's clear that graphics performance is significantly faster, but the numbers tell the real story. These actions took only 7.94 seconds and ran an average of 63 frames per second with graphics performance enabled. Meanwhile, with this setting disabled, these actions took 161.72 seconds at an average of only 3 frames per second. If you haven't enabled graphics performance yet in SOLIDWORKS, you're sure to notice immediate gains when using certified graphics cards. And new for SOLIDWORKS 2021, there are 2 new enhancements that make graphics performance even faster. The first is when working in hidden lines removed and hidden lines visible. Calculating silhouette edges is a complex task graphically that was previously handled by the CPU. New in SOLIDWORKS 2021, all of these calculations are now handled by your graphics card. In the case of the assembly from Square Robot, there are a lot of silhouette edges to calculate across the model, and like before, the difference is clearly apparent. With GPU silhouette edges, the macro ran in only 4.71 seconds at an average of 107 frames per second, while with this disabled, it took 170.65 seconds and only averaged 3.94 frames per second. The second new enhancement is the addition of occlusion culling technology to graphics performance. Occlusion culling is when it is determined that a model is out of view and doesn't need to be rendered. With a special development build, the occlusion culling has been paused as this model is rotated. You can see that several of the components that were previously out of view were never rendered by the graphics card. Occlusion culling has a much more significant impact on performance the more components are asked to be rendered by the graphics card. So in this assembly, the gains may be marginal, but in much larger assemblies, the gains are much more impactful. Graphics performance in SOLIDWORKS 2021 continues to take advantage of your investment into your certified graphics card, delivering a much smoother and faster experience when working with complex and large assemblies.
Wasn't that something? Let's move on to hybrid modeling.
Designers demand the ability to create manufacturable products using an ever-increasing variety of file formats. SOLIDWORKS 2022 makes this easier than ever with new enhancements for mesh BREP formats and tools that help you view and edit critical product information. This ball valve, equipped with a lockout-tagout feature, is perfect for this control panel, but the handle is too plain to be incorporated in a luxury product like the Nemo. The supplier provided their files in mesh BREP format. In SOLIDWORKS 2022, working with these files is just like working with native geometry, thanks to the new hybrid modeling capabilities. Creating features like chamfers, extrudes, reference planes, and more no longer require intermediate bodies and Boolean operations. The handle needs a slot for a lock. Now in SOLIDWORKS 2022, HoleWizard's slot length can be defined by arctangents or centers. Also, when positioning the slot, the Tab key toggles between vertical and horizontal orientation. Manufacturing this handle will require draft. Bidirectional parting line draft would be the most appealing. In SOLIDWORKS 2022, you can now create draft in both directions when using a parting line, rather than having to create 2 separate draft features.
Let's come back to assemblies with component patterns.
The intelligent pattern-driven component patterns get even smarter in SOLIDWORKS 2022. When you choose a component to pattern, SOLIDWORKS will always choose that component's location as the seed for determining how to create and position the other instances. Even if you change the location of the component to a different location, the pattern still assumes that the component you are patterning is in the seed position. This means it's much easier to take advantage of existing patterns and hole wizard features to quickly position multiple instances of components, such as hardware, and rapidly populate your assemblies.
Our beloved S-key has had an enhancement of its own.
In SOLIDWORKS 2022, Command Search is integrated into the S-key shortcut menu. You can even have SOLIDWORKS show you its location for future reference.
For those of us who upgrade lots of users every year, the new admin types and options are definitely a great help.
Administrative images create tailor-made installation packages from the source SOLIDWORKS installation files. SOLIDWORKS 2022 brings exciting new enhancements to this process that make deployments more powerful, flexible, and organized. SOLIDWORKS 2022 offers two new options for deploying administrative images: Remote Client and Compressed. The Remote Client administrative image type was created specifically for remote users. It automatically downloads the bulk of the installation files from SOLIDWORKS servers instead of your company VPN. The compressed administrative image contains all of the same components of the standard image, but in a reduced size, which allows for easier sharing. Staying organized is key to a successful deployment scheme. SOLIDWORKS 2022 allows you to create multiple nested groups that reflect your company's preferred hierarchy. Drag and drop makes rearranging items easy and convenient. Each subgroup inherits the setting to the parent groups. This makes editing the administrative image simple and reduces the user XML file size, making deployments even faster. In this example, most users won't need these packages to be installed, so we uncheck them in the global settings. However, our users will need access to the SOLIDWORKS PDM server. And now in SOLIDWORKS 2022, we can even create a vault view after installation. No need to run any extra custom scripts. The electrical engineers will need the SOLIDWORKS electrical client installed. Because of the nested structure of the options editor, this is done by checking a single box for the whole group. Now in SOLIDWORKS 2022, the user interface gives a clearer indication of what electrical products will be installed. You can still choose to deploy manually or automatically, and of course, these tabs reflect the nested structure of the Setup tab, making it convenient to deploy to the correct users or groups. SOLIDWORKS 2022 makes creating, editing, and deploying administrative images easy and powerful, with better end-to-end support for software packages, improved organizational tools, and flexible new image types.
And to top it all, better communication with cloud data management.
Whether you work in a large organization or just a small team, no doubt you're concerned with storing, managing, and collaborating on your design data. And it's tricky, because SOLIDWORKS parts, assemblies, drawings, and other supporting documents, they're all linked. Consumer cloud storage apps don't know how to handle that. Maybe the investment in SOLIDWORKS PDM and Manage isn't right for you. There is another way. When you connect SOLIDWORKS to the 3D Experience platform, cloud data management is just a few clicks away. Eric Engineer and Debbie Designer are part of the team working on the Nemo submersible. They are on a tight deadline to finish up the hatch design. Eric puts the finishing touches on the latch mount by inserting fasteners from SOLIDWORKS Toolbox. A quick check on the assembly drawing and everything is up to date and ready to save to the cloud. First, he logs into the 3D Experience platform. It's his team's secure connection to the cloud. Right from the task pane, he sees the status of his work. These indicators show which components need to be saved. As for the hardware and other standard parts, SOLIDWORKS is configured to automatically catalog and release these items so all users can access their shared libraries online. The Save dialog shows exactly which items require an update. He can also assign any item to a bookmark, such as related drawing files. Out of a long list of components like this, bookmarks are a convenient way to flag them for easy access. Only the new or changed items need to be uploaded to the cloud. This makes efficient use of network bandwidth, but still ensures everything is up to date. As the leader of his team, Eric is able to release his own designs. Easy-to-use lifecycle operations like this help the team avoid accidental overwrites. Switching over to his Bookmarks tab, he sets the related part and assembly drawings to Released. It's just 2 drawings for now, but as the detailing work continues, the bookmark will keep everything organized for quick access. That includes any other supporting documents, like this PDF instruction sheet and the related SOLIDWORKS Composer file. Most document types can be previewed interactively within the SOLIDWORKS task pane. No need to launch external viewing apps. Eric has a backlog of finished designs that also need uploaded to the cloud. He can automate this with a batch save. He just selects his local design folders and assigns them to the appropriate cloud space. SOLIDWORKS takes care of the rest. As the Nemo sub-design evolves, the team must respond to change orders quickly. Debbie logs into her session and sees a message from Eric requesting a change. A quick keyword search shows several results. This one looks right. Debbie uses the 3D annotation tools to quickly sketch out a couple ideas. From here, she opens the part in SOLIDWORKS. The latest version is automatically retrieved from the cloud. Before she makes any changes, it's best to do a where used search. The hand wheel is used in one subassembly below the master hatch assembly. She can open that right into her modeling session and get to work. This version of the subassembly is released. In order to make changes, Debbie needs to create a revision of the assembly and the hand wheel. The status indicators immediately show that the current assembly structure is out of date. So she replaces it with the new revisions and sets them to reserved. This gives her write access to the items she needs to modify without locking other users out of the rest of the assembly. The redesigned hand wheel looks great, but she needs to update the drawing. The shared bookmarks give Debbie quick access to the related drawing files. The drawing is now in sync with the part model, so she saves it to Revision B, then sets the part and drawing to a frozen state so they can be reviewed. Returning to the assembly, she finishes out the design by adding the latch mechanisms and saves the new revision back to the cloud. In order to meet their tight deadline, the Nemo team often needs to work on the same design files at the same time. Eric is working on a new revision of the master hatch assembly. These icons let him know Debbie has the hand wheel assembly reserved and is currently making changes. He can reserve the top-level assembly without affecting Debbie's work on the subassembly. This modular approach to access control allows users to design concurrently without accidentally saving over each other's progress. A short time later, Eric sees that Debbie has finished up. He just needs to reload the latest version of the subassembly from the server. Taking a look at the hand wheel drawing, he likes her redesign and moves it to Released. Back in the assembly, Eric attaches the connecting rod mechanisms, then returns to his bookmarks to update the drawing. Bumping the assembly and drawing to Revision B, he's ready to save. The revised hatch assembly requires new versions of the supporting documents. From the convenience of his Bookmarks tab, Eric uploads the latest version of the Composer file and uses the interactive preview to inspect the latest revision. Out-of-the-box cloud data management enabled the Nemo team to be productive right away. They were able to safely store their data, manage changes, and design concurrently, all without ever leaving their familiar SOLIDWORKS design environment. Everyone in the organization benefits when you connect SOLIDWORKS to the 3D Experience platform.
Let's start with some highlights of what you will see later this morning. Working smarter, working faster, and working together are the three focus areas of this year's SOLIDWORKS enhancements. So, how do we work smarter? When it comes to large assembly performance, we can optimize resolved mode automatically. We can manually manage when to resolve lightweight components using the manually manage resolved and lightweight modes options. Automatically load components lightweight was renamed load components lightweight. We can now repair missing mate references or references to faces, edges, planes, axes, and points. This is done by automatically selecting a reference on the component that is in the same location and orientation to the missing reference. When we use the move copy body command, we can control the translate and rotate values with equations. We can add these equations to a design table and control them there. We can double-click the dimensions in the graphics area and specify them using the modify dialog box. When using structure systems, we can group similar corners, apply a corner trim to the group, and edit the groups as required. This will be a tremendous help to those of us using large weldment structures. We can see through transparent bodies with hidden lines removed and hidden lines visible, display states including components in assemblies and bodies in multi-body parts. What about working faster? More end conditions are available for cut features in assemblies. Toolbox components can be removed from the selection because the propagate feature to part option is enabled. We can now create wrap features from sketches that use single-line fonts, also known as stick fonts, when we select Scribe to Wrap type in the Wrap Property Manager, where previously wrap features did not support single-line fonts. Magnetic mates, a great aid to assembling anything modular, has received its own upgrades. We can suppress magnetic mates and connection points. In a bill of materials, when we change values manually, the text turns red. We can also change the highlight color, which is default as blue, when we override values using break-link. We can restore overridden values to their original value and prevent unwanted changes. Another bill of material enhancement, we can now filter a bill of materials so we can focus on what we need to see. We can filter a range of data based on our criteria. Let's now look at a couple of improvements to help us work better together. SOLIDWORKS PDM lets administrators customize the templates for automatic notifications for a vault. This helps to display information that is more relevant to the user. We can edit the subject and body of the template in HTML format and use variables in the notification message. And collaboration becomes easier than ever with 3D Experience as we expand on the collaboration between desktop and the cloud platform. The ease of use and flexibility of this solution is outstanding. Let's now look at what's new with the interface and user experience. As a SOLIDWORKS user, you expect the best out of your software when it comes to customization, performance, and working with others. SOLIDWORKS 2023 significantly improves the user experience. Communicating with your team on a project is vital to success, and a great way to do this is through comments. In SOLIDWORKS 2023, comments are enhanced to improve usability. You can now emphasize text using the bold, italic, or underline modifiers. Adding a screenshot to the comment is just a click away. You can add images from your local machine to give your comments even more context. The background color can be changed as well. These labels can, of course, be customized to add even more clarity if a comment is critical. You can set them to appear when the document is opened. It's no secret that SOLIDWORKS has the most customizable interface of any CAD application. Have you customized too much? Or maybe you want a fresh start? You can now more easily restore the default settings in SOLIDWORKS 2023. Each tab of the Customize window has a Reset to Default button that allows you to reset that specific settings, the command manager, or all customization. And of course, we have to talk about performance. The render system, released in 2019 to improve frame rates during pan, zoom, and rotate, has been dramatically optimized. You'll now have greater reliability with the Enhanced Graphics Performance box checked, so that you can realize the faster frame rates when viewing large assemblies or parts with complex geometry. A better user experience means improved productivity. Customizing the user interface, communicating effectively, and improving frame rates allow you and your team to speed designs. Communicating with your team becomes even more effective when storing your data on the 3D Experience platform. All credentialed stakeholders have access to view content and can even make markups using any device with an internet connection. Those markups are stored with the data and shared directly so that the right person has access to the right data at the right time. Now, which of these user experience enhancements is your favorite? Mine is the faster graphics. Regardless who does what in SOLIDWORKS, faster graphics will always benefit everyone.